What storage option is best when starting out? Not one, but two installs, and Phoebe's takeaways from AREC 2022. Welcome to Foxy TV, episode 164. On the weekend, Phoebe attended AREC down at the Gold Coast. Laura caught up with her to see how it all went.
All right, guys, so I went down to the Australian Real Estate Conference, AREC 2022, over the weekend. I know there were a bunch of people that watch us were down there, so it's one of Australia's biggest real estate conference. Actually, I think it's the real estate conference. Fantastic. I loved it last year, which is why I went this year. This year was a lot bigger, a lot busier. Obviously, COVID impacted it last year, but even the trade shows knew most of the people there too. So I will definitely go again next year. Love the speakers, they were fantastic. So the reason I bought the ticket was because I want to see Matthew McConaughey speak. And I was actually blown away. He wasn't someone I was expecting to get as much out of his presentation as I did. Spoke more about giving less credit to your failures and you fall down and get back up again, and give it zero credit and keep going. It's all about life is about persistence. So I really, really liked his presentation, and I'm very interested in getting his book, although I'm sure Jake will tell you I'll get it and I won't read it. Then who else did I see? Seth Godin. I didn't like him as much. To be honest, I didn't make his second presentation. Maybe I might have liked his second presentation, but his first presentation, I don't know, I just didn't get as much out of that as a service-based business as I think maybe potentially some other businesses might have got out of it. I really, really loved Michael Koloshi's Q&A panel that he had down there. So for those of you who are a styling-based business who don't know who Michael Koloshi is, he is a multi-million-dollar real estate principal. And he has basically, they focus on the big properties down the Gold Coast. So to listen to him, listen to how he structures his team, considering how we're setting our business up, there's a lot of overlap. So we have a PA. So we've got the PA, we've got a media team, I have stylists, we've got boys out in the warehouse, and we, at the moment, we don't necessarily swim in our own lane. So we have lots of crossover. So thinking about how we can make everything more efficient and get most out of everything that we do every day. So that was really, really good. And so was Constantinopoulos from McGrath, really like his similar things.
Let us now move on to our first of two installs where Laura spoke to lead stylist Cassie.
Good, it looks absolutely beautiful. It was a really modern, almost new build. So yeah, access was great. The end result looks beautiful and it's come together very nicely and very quickly. Kept everything very minimal. We've gone with lots of subtle and soft greys, just to tie in with kind of the tile tone and everything. And then we've done a pop of blue in the dining chairs. And that's about all the colour we've gone for, really. Just let the dining chairs speak for themselves.
We recently had the following question come through on Instagram. What storage options for furniture is best to use when starting out? We're going to hear from Jake now. Now, Jake doesn't answer that exact question. We didn't give the question to him in those exact words. Instead, we asked him, what options do you have as a home staging company when it comes to storage? So he's going to run through those and the pros and cons to each.
You've got your home, your garage, which is where most stages I think start, and definitely where we did. You've got storage options like a Storage King or a National Storage where you can get the you hire by the garage and you can get different sizes. And we went into that as a second step as well. And I know a lot of stages do that to the point where you get maybe 2 or 3 side by side and you can use them all together. And then I guess third option, and there's probably more than 3, but the 3 obvious ones, I guess. The third one is a warehouse. So some sort of facility like we've got, or we started a lot smaller, and there's obviously lots of warehousing sort of options out there. Yeah, so the costs I'm not going to put a dollar number to it, which is probably what some people would like to see or hear. The reason I'm not is because it really depends on city, and even within the city, the suburb and the type of, especially when you get into kind of warehousing options, there's a lot of different types of warehouses depending on whether they're newer or older. Obviously your garage, the only cost is whatever, I don't know, electricity you have in your own sort of garage setup, obviously that's the free one. That's why that's the best place to start. And I'd say the pro of that is obviously the cost, or the lack of cost. It's also a good way to start, in the early days, I'm trying to think of timelines for us, the first kind of 3-4 years, the cash requirements of a growing business really meant that we had to be careful about where we put our money. And warehousing is one of those fixed costs where when you're trying to grow your business, you want to be putting your money into, new staff or new furniture or marketing, and something like a warehouse is a requirement, I guess, at a point, or the storage facility is, the costs there are a requirement, but it's money that you can't put on those other things. So the great thing about starting in your warehouse, in your garage for as long as you can, is you don't have that cost and you could be looking at those other things. The cost of a storage shed like a Storage King or National Storage obviously depends on the facility, how big you want it, how many, if you want multiple side by side. And I guess the benefit of that compared to the garage, obviously the con is the cost, but the benefit is you have more space. You have somewhere that's a little bit more, I was going to say professional, maybe not so much professional, but it's a dedicated space outside of your home where you might want to store your cars or your boxes or whatever. And then a warehouse, obviously, again, the cost kind of goes up another level, but the benefit there is size and space. So, and depending on what you go for, you start talking about offices and having other things within a warehouse or within your facility that maybe you need as a growing business or a growing team. For us, going to a warehouse and taking the opportunity to go to, the couple of times we've moved and to move into this one now, and we've expanded next door. As a growing business, it just felt like a really good positive step for us and for the team and everybody. So if team morale kind of factors into it, I feel like, and as the business owner, kind of looking at where we're going to and where the business is kind of going. I keep looking out here because I'm looking at the warehouse. Like it's a good feeling to see as a business, this is our space and for our teams. I guess the time to start thinking about it is, I'm going to give kind of two answers and they're going to seem opposite. The first answer is delay as long as you can because of that cost factor. When you're growing, like I said, you want to be putting your money into, or being smart about how you divvy up your cash. And if you can grow your team or your furniture, your stock, that might be a better way to go depending on your growth. But on the other hand, if you find a good opportunity, a good, something where there's a warehouse in an area you want, or it's the type of warehouse, it's a nice new one that is what you're after, or somebody's got a good, low cost to their lease that they're putting out, take it, which is what we did. We weren't looking necessarily for our first warehouse at the time, or we'd considered it, but then just in glancing around, we found a really good deal and we said, we weren't going to do this for a little bit, but it's there now and let's go for it. So the benefit of jumping into something that's a bit bigger, a bit more organized, like a warehouse facility, is you can really take your business, you're giving it permission to go to that next level, I guess. You've got room to bring in your trucks if that's what you're doing, set up your shelving, get everything kind of working from a facility instead of within somebody else's, like a Storage King. So as soon as you can, if it's a good option, but delay if cash is a problem and you're trying to divvy it that way. So two answers.
To finish the episode, we've got another install for you, this time in Chapel Hill.
So we've just finished up doing this install in Chapel Hill. How's it gone today, Cassie?
Good, it looks beautiful. So we've pretty much gone with just contemporary, beautiful modern colours in this one. Nice, light, natural furniture because the natural light in this house is really good, so we were trying to complement that. But we had a couple of challenges. One being this very, very tight staircase, which isn't ideal, but we were able to make it work. And the other one, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see because my car's in the way, but this very steep and narrow driveway, so the boys had to park at the bottom and kind of ferry everything up. So we had all hands on deck this morning. Modern contemporary in this one. Yeah, like I said, lots of glass and timbers upstairs, which we'll show you in a sec. Just tried to keep it very light and neutral. Upstairs is quite a tight and narrow layout, and then downstairs is kind of like a teenage retreat. So again, kind of funny shaped room. So we just had to make sure we had enough furniture to make it feel full without overcrowding.
That is all I've got for you for episode 164. Thanks for watching. See you next week.